evening, good afternoon, everyone. I am here it is dawn in Thailand, in Chiang Mai. We are at our hotel here in the sort of edge of the medieval city, of the historic city, right at the northwest corner of the square that is the old city Chiang Mai. And we're just enjoying some breakfast here on this gorgeous morning. Let me show you what it looks like here. A beautiful. In fact, I think I'm going to reposition myself to be facing that way. I don't know why I didn't think about that to start with. It's a much better backdrop than the bland wall that is behind me. Okay, yeah, much better. Yeah, so we are here in Chiang Mai. We are enjoying breakfast together, and I thought I would take this opportunity to update you all on what has been happening on our adventures, the new lessons learned or repeat lessons learned for traveling around Thailand so that you can have a great trip if you come here too. So good morning, everyone who is joining us. Remember, if you have a question, let me make sure I can see all the messages and not just, there we go. If you have any questions about traveling in and around and to or from Thailand, from your respective part of the world, just let me know in the live chat. If you're watching this as a recording, pop the questions in the comments and I promise we will get to them. So yeah, we are on day 4 of being here in Chiang Mai. The time goes very quickly. Chiang Mai, for those who don't know, was the capital of the Lana Kingdom, which was what would have been what is now northern Thailand. And it was a completely separate polity with its own language, well, Thai adjacent language, and its own culture and its own way of doing things. And so for hundreds of years, 1,000 years, it was its own thing. And it was constantly in conflict with all of the states around it, the Burmese, always causing, bringing in influence, whether through war or through mercantile transactions. So the food up here in northern Thailand is completely different from the food in central Thailand or southern Thailand. There's a different culture up here. The way people interact with each other is different. There are different traditions and there's a different history here. So it is now part of Thailand, and it became a client kingdom of the Kingdom of Siam in the 19th century. And I think the last king of Lana died in the early 20th century. So that's how not long ago it was that what is now Chiang Mai, what is now northern Thailand, was its own kingdom. Right? So yeah, on a practical level, what I like about Chiang Mai versus the megalopolis that is Bangkok is that it is, relatively speaking, much quieter, especially if you get off of the main roads. So Chiang Mai is a square that used to have walls all around it. There's almost nothing left of those walls. Sadly, most of them were dismantled and the bricks were built into buildings or literally used to pave roads. So there's only a few little spots where you can see the reconstruction or the sad pile of what's left of those city walls, but there's still a moat, and the moat actually has a walk all the way around it, so you can walk all the way around the outer perimeter of Old City Chiang Mai. Unfortunately, it is surrounded by a major road, and I don't know if you can hear, I'm not certain what you all can hear, the birds, morning birds are of course doing their thing. But there is a constant roar of traffic from the major ring road or square ring road that surrounds Chiang Mai. So if you're going to pick a hotel in Chiang Mai, one of my big tips, if you want peace and quiet, you want to make sure you're actually more deeply into the old city itself and look at a map and pick something that's on a small road. If it's on a major thoroughfare that connects east-west or north-south through the entire city, it's not going to be very peaceful, because Thailand never seems to fully go to sleep, very interestingly. Oh, Kader, welcome to Chiang Mai, welcome to Thailand. Thank you very much. I'm wearing a bathrobe because it's morning, and I'm just enjoying some tea and some yummy local Lana milk yogurt before we strike out today for a hike up to Doi Suthep, which is the local mountain, shall we say. It's only 3.8 kilometers away, literally that way. But the road there is a highly trafficked main thoroughfare, and it's thousands of cars rushing past with the worst kind of exhaust. So we're going to take a grab a taxi, basically, the South Asia version of Uber, Southeast Asia version of Uber, and we're going to take that to our starting point so that we can maximize our time in the beauty of nature and the clear air instead of walking along the war zones that are basically the roads here. Yeah, so thank you for joining us, Kader. I appreciate that. Susan says, are there birds in the trees? The balcony looks lovely. Oh yeah, there are birds everywhere here. Lots of birds. I can look out and see them. I don't think you can though, because it's kind of backlit, unfortunately. Yeah, lots of birds. The morning, I love the sound of dawn here in Thailand. The symphony is one of the most beautiful experiences in the world, and I've experienced a lot of dawns in a lot of different continents. In fact, I've experienced dawn on 3 different continents. I guess not so much a lot. I need to get to some more continents in a lot of different countries anyway. And I think the Thai dawn is one of my favorites, might even be my favorite, just because of the beauty of the music. So yeah, lots of birds, and we have giant geckos. I think they're called toke geckos that make the most alarming curse ghost Japanese horror movie sound you can imagine. Yeah, so welcome everyone to Chiang Mai. Thank you for joining us this morning for this live stream. If you have any questions about traveling to Thailand, in and around Thailand, let me know. Otherwise, I'm just going to keep talking about our experience, what we've been doing thus far. So our first day, we actually flew in. It's Sunday. We spent almost all day flying Sunday from Korea because, unfortunately, our flight was delayed by 3 hours. Handsome, why don't you come out and sit with me here? Our flight was delayed by was delayed 3 hours, which meant our original overnight bus connection from Bangkok to Chiang Mai, yeah, we had to cancel that. There was no shot that was going to happen. So we ended up getting an overnight hotel in Bangkok that was a little hinky. It was not the nicest hotel in which I've stayed in for the price point, especially here in Thailand. The Gold Suites Hotel, I wouldn't honestly recommend it to anyone else. I mean, it was right next to the airport and it had a free shuttle, so that's good. But the room was a little suspect, yeah. And all the facilities were a little scarily worn down. Now, my tip is if you actually are planning your journey in advance to Thailand and you have an overnight layover at Bangkok Suvarnabhumi, there are a couple of transit options, hotels that are in the terminal landside that are super cheap, right? So there is a capsule hotel there that it's beautiful. It's got a really nice wide bed. It's clean. They've got lockers for your luggage, and it would have only been like $10 or $20 a night US, which I understand in Thailand that's a lot of money for most people, but for those of us from the West, it's a little bit of money. The problem is there aren't many of the capsules, and they overnight ones book out well in advance. There were daytime ones available, but no overnight ones. So if you actually are planning your trip to Thailand in advance, which we weren't, this was a last minute trip. We planned this 2 weeks before we got here, and we're kind of still planning it as we go. But the capsule hotels were booked up. There was no option. So we had to go for something a little bit off campus. Thankfully, Suvarnabhumi Airport in Bangkok has a massive selection of hotels all around the airport. But don't be deceived, those of you who like to walk like we do, don't be deceived if you look at a map and it looks like it's really close, because the way roads work in Thailand, very often you can't get there from here in any direct way. So even though the hotel was only 3.8 kilometers from the actual terminal, as the crow flies, 3.8 kilometers, it would have been a 15-kilometer walk because of the way the roads are and which roads actually have walking paths or sidewalks. So yeah, pro tip for Thailand, never assume that you can walk somewhere just because it looks like it's close on the map. Thailand is not a walking country. It really isn't. One of the things that I've learned over the years of traveling in and around Thailand is that one of the easy ways to identify tourists, no matter how they look, you can identify tourists by the fact that they're walking. If they are walking as a form of transport, they are not. They do not live in Thailand. They're not from Thailand, because Thai people, they take motor scooters, they take cars, they take taxis, They drive everywhere using some kind of motor vehicle. So they don't walk. And that means that the cities, the roads are not designed for walking. Even if there are sidewalks, frequently they put giant signs in the middle of them. So there are signposts taking up half the sidewalk. They put signs clear across them, political banners. So it's very clear that no one is actually expected to walk places. And honestly, the walking isn't the most pleasant here as a form of actually getting around, because the streets, like I said, most of the main thoroughfares are constantly inundated with traffic, and emission standards in Thailand are pretty garbage. I don't even know if they have emission standards for their cars. If they do, they're not enforced. So there's a lot of really dirty exhaust, and there's brake dust everywhere. It's not the best experience. We walked from the airport to this hotel, actually, because it was only this really weird magic number, 3.8 kilometers. It was a straightforward walk, relatively, but in many parts the sidewalk just completely vanished, and we were walking in the road. So, there's lots of little back roads here in Chiang Mai that are lovely, and I'm going to try to get some walking footage. Live stream is unfortunately problematic because our reception is not good enough here to actually go out and about. So I'm working on Wi-Fi here at the hotel, but out in the city there's no Wi-Fi. So we're probably gonna have to record the walks and then post them. So, but there are plenty of beautiful lanes here. Little tiny alleys where people still live. Chiang Mai is a tourist town, but there are plenty of neighborhoods where real Thai people still live their daily lives. And you can see the way people live, you can see the rhythm of their lives, you can see the kind of neat homes they have. Lots of friendly kitties here in Chiang Mai, everyone. We love the kitties, don't we, Handsome? Yes.
Can't not love the kitties.
Yeah, can't not love the kitties. Thai kitties are super friendly for the most part. So it's very easy to get out and get back. Have I stayed at this hotel before? No, Susan, this is our first time staying here. And one of the reasons we wanted to stay here, one, our trip was last minute, so there wasn't much inventory left for our dates by the time we were booking. But if you can, I don't know if you can see through there, this hotel looks like it was built to be a neo-Renaissance or a neo-Baroque chateau. So it's got a very interesting and over-the-top look. And we'll take you through could you straighten up our bedroom just a little bit, Hanson? Once we get our bedroom straightened up, we'll show you this gorgeous hotel room. So this is called the Ping Doi Hualin Boutique Hotel. And our Thai friends think that it was actually built as a collar award over 100 years ago. And for some reason, the collar awards were built in this weird neo-Renaissance, neo-Baroque way. And for a while it was abandoned, according to one of our friends who's been here, who's lived in Chiang Mai for over 20 years. He's Thai, actually. He's Thai American. He was born and raised in America, but both his parents are Thai. He grew up in Chicago, and he came home, basically. He decided he felt happier and more comfortable back here in Thailand, even though he didn't grow up here. So he said that this place was abandoned for years, and then it got bought by some hotelier, and it's been reopened. So we picked it because it has a very interesting look. It's got this beautiful green kind of refuge in the middle of it. I forgot that there is a ring road on the inside of the moat in this part all the way around in Chiang Mai. And so I stupidly thought, oh, well, it's inside the walls. It should be peace and quiet. It is not. You can hear the cars, at least somewhat, especially the really loud ones, all hours of the night. So maybe bring one of my travel tips for Thailand would be to bring either sound canceling headphones or earplugs, just in case you're a light sleeper, because no matter where you are, unless you're really out in the country, if you're in a city, there's probably going to be the occasional roar of a motorcycle at the very least. Big tip. And read the reviews of hotels when you're checking, because often people will mention things like noise. So coming into this, I knew that noise might be an issue. It's one of the reasons we picked this more expensive deluxe room, because it's in the inside of the complex facing into the courtyard rather than on the outside of the buildings facing onto the road. So keep that in mind. Let's see, other tips. There are a couple of different mobility apps that you can use for getting around Thailand, like Uber in the US or Kakao Taxi in Korea. right? So here they've got, in Southeast Asia, there's an app called Grab. And that's what we used the last couple of times we were here, but it hasn't been very reliable. This last time we've been having issues getting drivers to actually come. We've had to wait in some cases half an hour in the city. I'm not talking about out on some mountaintop. We've had to wait sometimes half an hour for a car to come, and we've had issues with people canceling the rides halfway through when they decide they don't want to go to wherever we're going. So one of our new friends that we made last night, who owns a lovely Thai lady, Anne, who owns a Chicago deep dish pizzeria here. She uses Bolt. And so we're going to upload Bolt onto our phone and see if that works any better. But she claims Bolt, yeah, Anne's Pizza.
They handwrite their own boxes.
Yeah, Anne's Pizza is fantastic. They handwrite their own art. Yeah, so we actually, oh, that's their New York style pizza. Their New York style pizza. It's huge. It definitely looks like it's from New York. Anyway. So Bolt is another app that I can highly recommend if you are looking to get around Thailand. So the nice thing about using these apps, okay, yes, it does require you to have internet, and if you don't have a plan that gives you internet, a cell phone plan for your native cell phone plan doesn't give you roaming mobile data. When you land at an international airport in almost all countries, there are counters from which you can buy temporary mobile internet access, or even a whole SIM chip that gives you a phone number. And that can really make or break your experience in a country, being able to make phone calls. I know it sounds so old-fashioned, but there it is. Being able to make phone calls to call your hotel, to call a restaurant and make reservations, being able to have access to full 5G speed internet with full bandwidth instead of the kind of grainy access that we get through our roaming mobile data. So yeah, take that into consideration. You might want to actually get a SIM for just your journey. And it's not expensive, it really isn't. And it's probably cheaper, it's possibly cheaper than any kind of roaming mobile plan you might get from your native provider, depending on who supplies your bandwidth, your mobile bandwidth, right? Oh fuck, there's smokers downstairs. So this is a problem, okay. Jesus Christ. Sorry. I'm going to try to move and see. We're going to go into the room now because I cannot handle cigarette smoke at all. Fuck. Excuse my language, but try not to be backlit. Yeah, okay. All right, this is the headboard behind our bed. Isn't that beautiful? So one of the problems with, and I know my hair is messy, it's on purpose, guys. This is good morning from Thailand. It's breakfast. This is me fresh out of bed. I haven't done anything to my hair, so just deal. Anyway, if you're enjoying this, don't forget to double tap that screen and consider subscribing. So there's no smoking in rooms for the most part in Thailand. I mean, you can see the sign, right? No smoking in Thailand. But that means that often they will allow smoking on the balcony. So unfortunately, that means if you're sitting on the balcony and there are smokers, then they are allowed to go out onto the balcony and sit down and smoke. And so someone just lit up, they're in the room right down there, Alas, thankfully they don't seem to be chain smokers. Speaking of smoking, I'm gonna close this door. Shit. Or not, I'm not gonna close the door. Speaking of smoking, Thailand has now legalized weed. So you can buy it here, you can use it here. You cannot smoke it in your hotel room. No smoking in hotel rooms. If you smoke in one of these hotel rooms, you will get slammed with a cleaning bill like you can't imagine. So just keep that in mind. Unfortunately, that means that especially in tourist zones, there's a lot of weed cafes. It's almost like Amsterdam again. And so if you are sensitive to the stink of skunk weed like I am, there's a lot of parts now in places like Chiang Mai that you're going to want to avoid. But again, if you wander off of the beaten trail and actually go into the small lanes in the neighborhoods, they're not smoking weed there. It's really just the tourists who are doing it. And the tourists will also just do it out everywhere, and they will walk and smoke at the same time, which is really annoying. Galbaline, good morning. Good morning. How are you this morning? Yeah, we were out on the balcony, but unfortunately, one of my neighbors lit up, and so we've come inside while he finishes doing that. Yeah, Gil, if you have any questions, let me know. Okay, so we talked about the smoking situation here in Thailand. Oh, something else one of my Thai friend told me, and this is very important, everyone. If you are a smoker, there are zones, public zones outdoors, where you are not allowed to smoke in Thailand. Schools, hospitals, and there was another one, I think. But schools and hospitals, and it's a pretty wide zone. Watts, yeah, temples probably. And it's a pretty wide zone around all of those. And there are a lot of schools and there are a lot of clinics here. If you get caught smoking in one of those zones, you could face some pretty hefty fines. So just be careful, there. Let's see, other things that we wanted to share with you about Thailand. For those who don't know, maybe you've never thought about it, Thai cuisine is very regional. Right? So it's extremely regional, which means that the traditional foods that are available in the very south and on the islands are going to be different than the traditional dishes in central Thailand. By the way, Bangkok counts as central Thailand by Thai standards, and very different than what they have in the north, in the northeast, in the northwest. Here in Chiang Mai, this is the Lanna Kingdom. And the northern Thai cuisine here is very heavily predicated on locally available wild growing herbs because there's a lot of jungle here. It's the highlands. There's a lot of forest here. There's, it's not plains, it's forested, heavily forested traditionally. And so they frequently go out into the woods and harvest all kinds of green things that to those of us not from this area look like any other random plant. But that means that the dishes here have a completely different flavor profile. Coconut milk-based things, not so common here in the north, at least the curries. So you don't have the green Thai curry or the red Thai curry or the yellow curry with the coconut milk base. So they're more acidic, they're more sour and sweet, and more like, the curries are definitely more, in many cases, more soup-like than what you might associate as being a curry. But really, if you come to Chiang Mai, you have to find northern Thai restaurants. And I've just published a video about one, Huen Pen, which is located in this fun teak building with all of these really nifty and fantastic Thai antiques everywhere. Apparently it says it's a shop, so hypothetically you could buy some of these beautiful lacquerware antiques, but it didn't look like anything had a price tag on it. Yeah, so definitely you have to try northern Thai food.
5,000 baht.
5,000 baht if you smoke in the hotel room.
150, 160.
Yeah, so if and they will smell, so we just found out, if you smoke in one of the hotel rooms, right? Good morning. If you smoke in one of the hotel rooms, then you will end up with a fine. And in our hotel, in the Ping Doi Hoa Lin Boutique Hotel, about $150, $160 you'll be levied because they have to do a deep clean of the room then to, remove the smoke. Yep. What are we having for breakfast? So let me see if we can go back out. We can go back out. Okay, great. Just give you a look at our breakfast view. This is the courtyard.
Should just turn the camera around.
Oh, yeah, I guess I could do that. Right. I have technology. There is the Neo-Renaissance Great Hall. It's a ballroom, basically. Twitchy, good morning. How are you?
Use your nose.
Got it. So, yeah, what am I having for breakfast? So Thai people don't have breakfast in first thing like we do in the West. Or if they do it at home. So there aren't actually many eateries open that serve Thai food at this time of morning. So you could, if you're eating and your hotel doesn't offer breakfast and ours doesn't, then you can go out, and there's plenty of brunch breakfast cafes that now offer Western style, full English breakfast, full American breakfast, continental breakfast, German breakfast. So you can get those options there. And we went to one yesterday and we had omelets. And again, as is typical in Asia, the Thai do it better than I could get it in the US. It was fluffy, it was delicious, it was perfectly cooked. It came with salad and sauteed veggies. It was a perfectly well-rounded meal. It was wonderful, and it wasn't greasy. It was the perfect omelet. But this morning, I'm actually just having some locally produced yogurt. This is not a traditional Thai thing. There is, as far as I know, they have lovely happy cows. And they've started making yogurt because increasingly Asians are deciding that they want fermented dairy as well. So we got this from a local store, and I will tell you, it is super yummy. again, the Thai have taken something from the West and done it just as well, if not better than we do. Yeah. Let me see. Markets, yeah. We have been to a bunch of markets, and we would like to live stream from the markets, but I'm not certain that we're going to be able to do that because our reception isn't super great. So we might just be recording some market walkthroughs. Yeah, there are markets everywhere around here. Night markets, day markets, food markets. We're doing a Northern Thai cooking class tomorrow, a Lana cuisine cooking class tomorrow. It's an all-day affair, and we start with a market tour. And I'm excited about that because I know a lot of the things that are in the market. I'm familiar with many of the produce, but there's some vegetables and fruits that I look at and I really have no idea. So I'm excited for this market tour by a local chef because we're going to learn a lot. I'm hoping we'll be able to live stream the market tour. If not, we'll be recording the market tour and we'll post it. Love markets though. Street vendors here sell fresh fruit, prepared for you, ready to eat, peeled, pitted, super delicious, ready to go for a song. You can get like the equivalent, probably 2 or 3 mangoes worth of mango spears that have been freshly prepared for the equivalent of, Jesus, it's like 10 baht. So 10 baht is 30 cents US. And all kinds of fruit. You can get fresh jackfruit, you can get fresh pomelo, fresh papaya, fresh pineapple. You can, of course, get whole coconuts with the coconut flesh still on the inside, drink the coconut water, and then scrape out the coconut for super cheap. Eating in Thailand it is so delicious and so well balanced and so affordable. Yeah. Yeah, and here in Thailand, and I love Thailand because they love sour things, and I love sour things, so we get along so well because you can buy sour mangoes. So mangoes that are almost not at all ripe, and they sell them with little packets of chili sugar, chili shrimp powder sugar. Sorry, chili shrimp powder, salt, or sugar, and you sprinkle that on it to give it a little extra zing, a little extra kick. Yeah, so. Love the fresh fruit situation here. And of course, you know, at any given street market, they're preparing the food fresh there. And, you know, for those of us from the West who have a fantasy about what restaurant kitchens are like, because most people don't realize just how maybe not perfect restaurant kitchens actually are. You know, you can see it all out in the open here because they're preparing the food there, and you might get a little queasy thinking, oh, is this not safe? Is it, you know, what about food safety requirements? There hasn't been a rash of Thai people dying from consuming street food via food poisoning, so I say just go for it. The healthcare is really good here, so if you end up eating something that doesn't agree with you, you'll be well taken care of, and it's very affordable. Yeah. I'm 100% a fruit bat. I would subsist on fruit alone if I could. Yeah. Twitchy, if you came to Thailand, you would be able to subsist on fruit. There are so many different kinds of fruit here, cheaply and freshly available. You might actually be able to get most of your nutrition requirements considering the variety. Yeah, as Twitchy says, if the temperature is high enough, then it's usually safe. Oh, well, they definitely cook this stuff at a super high temperature. The problem sometimes comes when they cook it. They prepare it, and then they prepare a large batch of curry, and then they put it in individual bags that you can then take away, and then the bags are just kind of sitting there, not being kept at a certain temperature. Little hinky. Yeah. So, let's see. So we've been really hitting the Northern Thai food pretty hard, and we're excited about our cooking class tomorrow because tomorrow we're going to be making everything from scratch. We're going to be grinding our own pastes. We're going to be grinding our own meat. We're going to be making sausage, Northern Thai sausage, and it's called I think it was called Uisai or Uasai. Sorry, Thai is not one of my languages, nor is Northern Thai. But it's this beautiful sausage, the pork sausage, and it has such a wonderful blend of spices and herbs. And it's got a little bit of chili pepper in it, just enough to give it a little bit of zing, but not enough to make it, you know, a painful experience. and we had it the day before yesterday and the day before that, and I'm so excited to get to learn to make this. And we're going to be learning to make hong lei, which is this Burmese, basically it's a Burmese curry that's sweet and sour, and it's tamarind based, and it has beautiful pork belly in it that's stewed until it falls apart. And we're also going to be making, God, what was the third dish? We're making 3 main dishes and then dessert, and I can't remember what the third dish was. The third dish is basically it's pork mince, again with all these amazing spices and herbs, wrapped in banana leaf and steamed. And then it's like a dumpling where you don't eat the dumpling wrapper, right? It's the dumpling filling, and then you dip that in sauces and you eat it with sticky little balls of sticky rice. It's just so tasty. And for dessert, we're going to be learning to make these. Basically, these are coconut puddings in the British sense of the word pudding. And it's coconut milk and rice flour and some blossom sweeteners and flavors, or blossom flavors. And you make them in these little cast iron, like egg cups. And they come out looking like little tiny pancakes. And that totally appeals to me. You know, something that's just coconut milk, a little bit of sweet, and rice flour just to bind it and thicken it. I'm behind that 100%. And we're going to be making our own coconut milk. I love making my own coconut milk. It's part of the class, and they're like, we'll teach you how to make your own coconut milk. And I'm like, okay, you can do that, but I already know how, but that's okay. We'll be making our own coconut milk, so that's exciting. Yeah, pork is definitely a primary meat here. There are wild pigs in the forest. At least there used to be. I don't know how many there are anymore. Yeah, we haven't seen any yet. So this is an all-day cooking class. We're going to try to live stream it. We'll see if they'll let us. I'm hoping they will, because I'd like to be able to interact with you all as we're going through it, and you can just watch the process of making all the things. We'll see what happens. I mean, to be honest, our devices wouldn't last for 8 hours anyway. But you know, at least if we can live stream some of it, that'd be great. That would be great. But we walk away with an ebook, with a cookbook, and I'll be sharing that with all of my channel members and my patrons. So I'll be sharing that ebook with you. So you can have all these Northern Thai recipes. It's one of the benefits of taking the class. And the class, honestly, for a day class, it's cheap. It comes to $60 per person for a whole day cooking workshop and market tour. And we're making 4 main courses and a dessert. We're making enough food to feed a small army just per person. So for $60, it's a really good value for money. And you know, obviously for Thai people, $60 is a lot. US, I absolutely get that. But for those of us who are earning, you know, more of a upper level income, you know, from developed world income, then it's a really good bargain, and it's a great experience. We did a cooking class here before, different place, different farm, and that was Central Thai food. Back then, 2.5 years ago, there were no places doing Lana cooking courses, but now there are, and so we're excited for this opportunity. And what the other thing is, it's on a farm. So we're going to be going out into the beautiful countryside, and we're actually going to go around the farm and harvest our own ingredients. So we'll go to the market, and then we're going to get a farm tour, and we're actually going to get to pick our own herbs and dig up our own galangal and pick up our own eggs, because of course, you know, a fried egg is a must-have with Thai food. Petrel, welcome. Welcome to Chiang Mai, Thailand. I am originally from the United States, from the East Coast, but I emigrated to Europe when I was 22, and I haven't lived very much of my life there since. So where I'm from is a tricky question. Yeah, if you have any questions about traveling around Thailand, just let me know, please. Traveling in and around Thailand, what to eat, where to go. Yeah, you absolutely must try Northern Thai cuisine. Get past the green curry. I actually learned a lot about green curry from a documentary last week. Green curry is Thai green curry in Thailand, which I already knew, is very different from what it is outside. You know, in the U.S., it tends to be this thick, really thick coconut milk concoction that's almost white. But Thai green curry here in Thailand is a soup, basically. It's a not very thick stew. And the coconut milk almost dissolves into it, so you don't even really see the coconut milk necessarily very much, unless it's the royal version. The royal version from the Royal Palace kitchens is apparently more like the one we see in the West. So it seems that the Thai cuisine that was brought into the US and into Europe was actually the royal palace cuisine rather than sort of the Thai food of everyday life. But up here the Lana curries don't really have coconut milk, interestingly. That could be that coconuts aren't as prominent up here. It's actually cooler. We're in the highlands. And the temperatures have been getting down into the low 60s every night. So, to around 14 degrees every night centigrade. And during the day, they've been in the upper 20s, in the sort of mid 80s every day. It's been very pleasant. It's the dry season. And so it's not very humid relative to what it can be here. Yep. Herb Queen, welcome. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to Chiang Mai. Welcome to our beautiful hotel here. Right, the Ping Doi Hualien Boutique Hotel. Yeah, big fan of it so far. We're really enjoying it. What were some of our other notes we wanted to share? Right. So, guys, if you're flying into Thailand, I really recommend you get the Grab app or the Bolt app. If you get the Grab app, it's like Uber. It's like Kakao Taxi in Korea. It's like Uber. I'm not certain. Europe, I guess, is using Uber too these days, right? But they don't have Uber here as far as I know. And the reason you want to get that is because you want to use that to take taxis places, because it's going to guarantee you don't get swindled, right? It's all done through the app. There is no swindling by a taxi driver telling you that they didn't run the meter and that it's a flat rate. So it's very safe. You will always know you're going to the right place because you pick your destination on the map. And if you fly into Thailand, into Suvarnabhumi Airport, the new international airport versus Don Muang, the older one, then there is a specific Grab pickup area that is much cheaper to get picked up from. And so that is on the first floor, exit 4. And you have to cross through 2 or 3 streets to get to it. But Grab or Bolt is really what you want to get around Thailand. Herb says, I'm in freezing New York. Yeah. For those who don't know, that's one of the reasons we came to Thailand. One, my 90 days in Korea was up because I'm there as a tourist. 2, it's so cold and dry in Korea right now that my hair and my skin were just suffering. And you can see my hair loves it here. My hair loves the air. Despite the pollution, my hair loves it here. It loves the humidity. And so we specifically chose Chiang Mai because it's in the highlands. So it's warm and humid relative, but it isn't hot and it isn't brutal. We're going back to Bangkok on Saturday morning, and I'm anticipating much warmer, much hotter temperatures than it is right now. Yeah. So let's see, other things I haven't mentioned, Handsome? Yeah. Capsule Hotel I mentioned that. Yeah, when you're traveling, guys, try new things. Like, even if it sounds disgusting, if it won't kill you, literally, if you're not allergic to it, try it. Here in Chiang Mai on Sunday night, unfortunately, we won't be here for this, but we were here last time, so there's a recording of the walking market from last time, from 2.5 years ago. They have a walking market. They shut down the main east-west road through the middle of the old city from one end to the other. They shut the whole thing down. It's like a mile long. And there's street food vendors. All of the temples have markets in them because markets and temples go hand in hand here in Korea, the way markets and churches used to go hand in hand in the Middle Ages. Sound familiar, anyone? And there are artisans, craftsmen they have their own stalls. They're working and making the products right there. So you can buy handmade items that are made by the artisan, and then you can give them extra money the way we do if you feel like you deserve more money for this than you're charging. So you can buy freshly made items, and you can try the most fascinating things that you will never get outside of Thailand. For instance, I got to try not freshly roasted, but roasted or toasted bamboo worms, which were nutty and flaky and crispy. The texture wasn't bad. The flavor wasn't bad either. If I were in a hunger situation, I would prefer that over many other options, but it wasn't something I decided I wanted to buy and eat in vast quantities. I also tried grilled squid semen sack, which is just as awful as it sounds. It tasted exactly like you imagine it would, just a little more like the ocean. But I tried it, right? I tried it. It was an interesting experience. I'll never have to do it again, but it was worth trying. So I always encourage you to be adventuresome when you're out and about. And again, if something doesn't agree with you, Thailand has a great medical system. Yeah, so the walking market is Wednesday nights, but every other night in almost every major city in Thailand and smaller towns as well, there's a night market somewhere, right? And the night market is where people go and get dinner. Like everyone goes and gets dinner. You know, they set up plastic tables and plastic chairs, and there's an outdoor kitchen that's preparing wonderful smelling foods, and it's super inexpensive. It's the cheapest way to eat in the city. In Thailand, full stop, is to go to one of these street markets and eat on the road, basically. Again, though, if you have problems with noise, most of the street markets are on a major road, and they don't shut down the street necessarily for it, and especially along the big thoroughfares. So if noise is a problem, then you want to find one that's where they actually do shut down the road, which does happen. They do shut some down. Twitchy says, what kind of things are they selling in those artisan stalls? I'm so fascinated by what other people are making. Yeah. When we get back, I think I'm going to do a live stream show and tell, because we have a bunch of things that we bought the last time that are beautiful and deserve being put on display. But for instance, here in Thailand, in northern Thailand, the Lana Kingdom, one of the traditional arts is lacquerware. Now, while they're not necessarily making the lacquerware that they're working on there, you won't be able to buy because there's a curing process. But you can buy lacquerware items that they have made. So the lacquerware food containers are the traditional, the Tupperware of Thailand, of Asia, was basically lacquerware before they started also using Tupperware. And so they've got these beautifully shaped containers. I actually showed some yesterday in the live stream walking tour of the traditional Lana House Museum. There's a recording that has posted on this channel if you want to check that out later. So with these beautiful, just such sexy, such fine curves, and they're used to store water, they're used to store food, they're used to serve food, and you know they're made in these beautiful colors, black and red, and decorated oh so beautifully. They've got this other lacquerware style where it's black lacquerware, and then it's dishes, a variety of serving dishes, platters, bowls that are hand carved. And then they do this amazing decorative painting on top, which is really fine with all these really fine, like mandala style designs all over them. Mother of pearl inlay is of course also an art form here, just like it is in Korea. Pounded metal, they do a lot of repoussé. For those who know what repoussé is, repoussé technique for hammering metal into these like three-dimensional hollow shapes and then making belts and hair pieces from it, and also even like metal servingware made out of silver. Let's see, weaving. Handsome, could you come? Your pants.
My pants.
Your pants. Stand. Yeah, okay. So weaving, you can get, bands like this. This is traditional Lana style weaving, and he's actually wearing fisherman pants. So these were worn traditionally by fishermen. There's not a lot of room in this corner. These were worn traditionally by fishermen to, go fishing. And, here, hold on.
Change the...
Yep. We can do this. We've got the technology. Okay. He was sitting, so it's a little sloppy right now, but look at the Hanes. Yeah, but see, you can see how they're tied on, their wrap. Right? Actually, open it up, baby. Just show how, right? Yeah. So then you fold it all the way to one side like that. Fold to the other side, and then you wrap it around with a tie. So you have super flexibility. He bought a whole bunch. He loves these things so much. So we bought we bought many pairs of them so that when he wears through his favorite pair, he'll have a new favorite pair ready to go. Yep. Yes. So the question was, did I buy a parasol or an umbrella at the night market? Yes, the parasol. There is a parasol. They call it an umbrella. They call it an umbrella factory, and they do use them as umbrellas because they're waterproof. There is an umbrella factory 20 kilometers outside of town where they hand make the wooden framed parasols or umbrellas, still by hand. And they paint them in beautiful, beautiful patterns. So yeah, we bought 2 the last time we were here. Unfortunately, there is no shop here in town. I thought they would have a shop here in town, but they really do expect you to take a tour out 20 kilometers out, and I'm not up for a 20-kilometer car ride. Because that's not as close as this. It takes longer than you think it does in Thailand. Traffic can be really bad here. But yeah, you can buy that at the night market. Twitchy says, I desperately want to see these markets. I really want to see the fabric and the haberdashery stalls. So there are no fabric stalls at these markets, weirdly, nor are there haberdashery stalls. So the reality is the street markets are where you can buy finished products, but there are market neighborhoods where you can absolutely go and buy, haberdashery and fabrics. And I do know where that is here in Chiang Mai because we went there last time. We will try to go, and if we don't have the bandwidth to actually take you live, then we will do a recording. Twitchy, I'll do that for you. Yeah, no problem. I can totally do that. It is very interesting. It's very interesting. And they're definitely not pretty fabric stores. They're not pretty haberdasheries. They're definitely the ones used by the locals to make all of their clothing. And there are a lot of shops here that sell. Oh, Handsome, could you grab the little top we bought last night? There are a lot of shops here where the designers are selling their own clothes that they designed and made themselves right there. So you can buy clothes that are made by this person, and you can tell that it's, you can watch them making them. And again, for us Westerners, a really good price. We were walking around down one of those little winding lanes I mentioned, and I saw look at this cute little tie-off top. Isn't that so? That's the back. This is the front. Isn't this so adorable? Right? And it's cotton, and it's just so cute, and it's very well made, and the person who made it was sitting across the street with her cats. So yeah, and I bought this. This cost about $20. Cost about $20 US, 60 Thai baht. So $20 US. And for 60 baht.
That's it?
Yeah, 60 baht. Which, for the locals here, that's good earnings. For me, I feel like, wow, I should be giving you another $10 at least for this, right? So if you walk down the lanes, you can find all these great little shops with really nice and interesting clothes, right? You're not the usual whatever that you can find in an H&M. Speaking of the horrors of H&M, yesterday we were forced, unfortunately, to go to one of the very Western style malls, and it really felt like we fell back into America. I felt like I had been sucked through a wormhole into the Palisades or something like that. But we had to, because the shoe places here, unfortunately, don't sell shoes that we can actually wear, quality shoes that are actually covered, like lots of sandals. You can get sandals from all the local shops here. You can get Birkenstock style slip-on shoes. You can get slippers, right? But if you want something that actually is a back, you kind of have to go to one of the malls and get the shoes that are made for Westerners. Ironically, the shoes I ended up buying were Lacoste shoes. They were on super sale, and they were made here in Thailand. So it's still locally made, I guess. Yeah, Twitchy says it's got such a lovely 50s beach feel. Yes, it does, Twitchy. That's why I got it. That's what I thought. I thought, oh my God, I need to get a pair of like those high-waisted palazzo style pants to wear with this, right? Yeah, and I already have the big hat and I've got the big sunglasses, so I'm ready to go. 50s, here I come. Yep. Twitchy says, I would be charging £50 if you wanted me to make that. Yeah, exactly. So knowing how much things cost here, knowing how much it costs to eat out, knowing how much groceries cost, I actually felt good. I felt fine giving them 60 baht, because again, here that is a good amount of money. That will get you very far. We ate what I would call first dinner yesterday at just one of the local restaurants that mostly probably caters to tourists. And it was, street food. They prepared it there kind of right on the street, and they had a inside area where you could go sit. And I'll post pictures of that here in a little bit. We each got a curry, and we each got a stir fry, and I got a second stir fry because I actually just wanted the kale that was in it, and they still ended up putting pork in it, even though I really just wanted the vegetables. And for these 4 main dishes, it came to like $2 US, basically. So keeping that in mind, that was like 200, 300 Thai baht. Let me see, 150 Thai baht, 150 Thai baht for a meal for 4 people. 60 baht for a garment is good earnings. Yeah, Julian, welcome. Thank you for joining us here in Chiang Mai, where I'm having some breakfast and just chatting about Thailand. Yep. So let me just have another. This is supposed to be breakfast, so let me have some of my yogurt. One of the things I also recommend you do, go to a local grocery store and get out of the tourist areas. Go find a grocery store where the residents, the citizens of Thailand actually go and shop. It should look, honestly, for best experience, it should look a little hinky. It should look a little bit like maybe it could be in a Thai horror movie. You all know what I mean, and this is not an insult. I shop at grocery stores like this all the time. They have these grocery stores in Germany too. They have them in America. You all know what I'm talking about. But it's the most local you're going to get. And ideally, the fewer things that are written in English, the better, right? So, but go shopping, go buy things that look weird and different and try them. And as long as it's legal, bring it back with you to your home country. I go grocery shopping everywhere where we travel to get an idea of what really local foodstuffs, local snacks, local treats, what that's like. And also local tea. I always go to the grocery stores and buy local tea. We bought a bunch of tea from one of the night markets and also from a grocery store. Yeah. This evening's topic, we're here in Chiang Mai, and I'm having breakfast, and I'm just talking about our travel adventures thus far and sharing tips. So if you have any questions about traveling to and or around Thailand, about Thai food, about Thai history, about Thai culture, just let me know. Yep, Takeda, welcome. Thank you for joining us, yeah. Let's see, yesterday we went to the Lana Traditional House Museum, and it is our friend who's lived here for more than 20 years has never been there. And he's the kind of guy who would be interested in seeing such a thing because he also does medieval living history, right? That's how we met him, but he is Thai. And he's never been there, and he didn't even know about it, I don't think. So when we told him about it and showed him the pictures, he realized he's been missing out on this amazing thing. So the Lana Traditional House Museum is this complex, and I think I might have already posted, I already posted a short video from there. If you check out my shorts after this, one of the second most recent one maybe, me walking towards this beautiful, beautiful building, that is the Lana House Museum. So Lana Kingdom was what is now northern Thailand. It was not the Kingdom of Siam. It was its own independent polity for centuries, and then in the 19th century it became a client kingdom. The usual rise and fall of empires, right? It became a client kingdom of the Kingdom of Siam. So they have their own culture here and their own architecture. And the Lana houses are built traditionally of teak and other tropical hardwoods. And they've got a specific sort of very practical layout that is very appropriate for this climate. And many of these houses, people don't want to live this lifestyle anymore. And of course, they're either being torn down for redevelopment, or if we're really lucky, there's this foundation that will pay to have them dismantled. Demolish is the word they keep using in the bad. I just realized the Google Translate, Hanson. Do you remember the sign kept saying demolished, demolished, demolished?
Oh, yeah.
That's not the right word. You know what the right word is?
Deconstructed?
Or dismantled.
Or dismantled?
Yeah. So there was some bad Google Translate happening at this complex. Even our Thai friends were scratching their heads about what the hell they meant. So there's a foundation that actually provides funding to dismantle these traditional century or more old homes and have them transported to this park and then reconstructed so that everyone can go and enjoy and explore and experience traditional Lana architecture. And these homes are so beautiful. And they're just like traditional Korean architecture, like Hanok. They are designed to maximize the environment, to provide climate control without needing electricity or machinery to do it. And it's so frustrating how, just like in Korea, they have seemed to have forgotten how to apply these techniques for building structures. They've done that here too in Thailand. They've forgotten what they knew. They've forgotten, and we've done it in the US too. It's not just an Asia thing. We've forgotten in the West too. In the West, in the South, for instance, those wraparound porches are not just a nice to have. They're a must have for keeping your home cool and aerated. High ceilings, a must have in warm places for keeping your home cool, right? So I'm not just criticizing Asia. We modern people, the world over, are forgetting what we knew in favor of cheap and fast. Yeah.
What you do.
Yeah. So yeah, the Lana Traditional House Museum was, yeah, I did a live stream from the Lana Traditional House Museum. It has posted as a recording. There's a lot of good information in there. Unfortunately, our visuals were not great because we did not have, it was, sometimes, Takeda will tell you, sometimes it was great, sometimes the picture was clear, and then other times it was not. It was pixelated. But the sound is always good because we were mic'd up. So you can check out that recording. I did do a bunch of shorts. I will be publishing those. They've got really good information in them. So there will be clear footage coming of them. Yeah, so the Lana Traditional House Museum, it's in this beautiful green park. It's near the university, Chiang Mai University, so students go there and just recreate. There was a painting class happening while we were there. And I really recommend, honestly, I would, if I'd realized what it was, if I'd really known, because you don't really know until you go, right? Next time we come back to Chiang Mai, we're going to go and make a day of it. We're going to go and we're going to bring a picnic, and maybe we'll even do some, like, you know, we'll go maybe for a real twist, we'll go dressed in, you know, medieval or Renaissance clothing and do some dancing there, because there's this really beautiful green everywhere. And the people who run the museum are super friendly, and they apparently offer workshops and classes on traditional Lana culture. But you have to request it in advance. So I've got the contact information, and I'm going to see about, you know, the next time we come here, about getting some of those workshops, because they're very proud of their heritage and they want to share it. And I'm confident it's heavily subsidized from the government, so it won't be expensive to have these workshops and classes on traditional crafts, on maybe music and dance. Yeah, very exciting stuff. I definitely want to get some of that tea. My knowledge of Thailand is limited to some politics, traditional dress, and dance, so I'm just excited to explore it with your videos. So Twitchy Witch, if you go back to my Thailand playlist, I have footage from when we attended a Kantoke feast 2.5 years ago here in Chiang Mai, which is basically like it's a modern invention by a Thai gentleman who lived in, or was he Hawaiian? No, he was Thai, right? He went to Hawaii. This rich Thai gentleman who traveled to Hawaii and saw the luau's there, and came back to Thailand and said, we need to make our own version of the luau. And so he basically combined traditional Thai dance with the northern Thai style feasting on with all these lots of dishes on a tray, like bapsang in Korean, basically. And he invented this whole thing, and there's this massive complex where you can go and basically be treated like royalty for a couple of hours with a full breadth of amazing traditional Thai dance. What I learned by going there, though, is that what is traditional Thai dance now was codified by the Queen of Thailand or the Queen Mother. The Queen Mother or the Queen of Thailand in the 50s. She was very interested in performance arts. So what is now traditional Thai dance may or may not reflect a very older tradition, because she took a lot of the traditional dances and sort of codified them in a way which may or may not be actually authentic to how they used to be, is my point. And it's hard, apparently, according to the scholars to whom I've talked, it's hard to trace it back further than that. So we don't know how authentically historical these traditional dances are, but I still love the style. I love it, and I would absolutely love to come back and actually take like a week intensive workshop on traditional Thai dance. It's something I need to look into doing, actually, because the way they move their fingers, it's just so alluring. But I mean, these dancers, they have to have super flexible fingers, because they have all these dance moves where their fingers are at this, I have to push to get my fingers there, where their fingers are at a perfect 90-degree angle to their hand. Perfect 90-degree. Like this is 45, I mean 90. So it's probably going to take some flexibility work on my part. Yeah, but very, very exciting stuff. Which do you think is a better cruise experience, Cunard or Fred Olsen? Julian, yeah, I haven't been on Fred Olsen, so I actually can't say, but a lot of my friends have traveled on both. And some people who've done both Cunard and Fred Olsen say they're equivalent. Some people say Cunard is a more elevated experience than Fred Olsen. So that's what I've heard. Unfortunately, I couldn't tell you. We should really try a Fred Olsen cruise at some point, just to see, since it is kind of Cunard adjacent. I've heard Fred Olsen called Cunard Light, is what I've heard. Yeah. Yep. So let's see, other things we wanted to talk about. Oh. Today we are hiking up to Doi Suthep, which is the local mountain. As I was saying sort of at the beginning of this whole adventure, this whole live stream, Doi Suthep, and it is at the top, there is a beautiful and amazing, stunning temple complex. We will not be able to live stream it. There's no way we're going to have reception on that mountain, but I'm going to try to record a lot of the walk up, so we'll post that. And that might be that'll probably be something where we'll post it on both my walking channel and this channel. And it's a beautiful trail. It's a gorgeous trail according to the pictures we've seen. Don't do what we did and make the mistake of thinking that the road that goes up is the trail that goes up, because someone gave us incorrect information. And that's why our attempt to do this 2 days ago failed miserably. And we ended up instead just visiting this beautiful waterfall. Video will be coming out about that too. But today's hike is about 7.4 kilometers from the base to the top. And I think I read it's about a 500-meter elevation change. So it's going to be pretty intense. We're bringing some snacks, some really fun local Thai snacks that we really love. For those of you who are into medieval cuisine, fava beans. They have fried fava beans that are crispy and buttery and light, just with some sea salt on them. And you just eat them. Handsome, could you grab the fava beans? Yeah, and they also do mung beans as a snack. Again, fried, light and crispy and salted. So it's got protein, it's got fiber, it's got some complex carbohydrates in it. So you can, it's a good refreshing snack when you need energy and you need salt. So that's one of the things I love to buy when I come here to Thailand are these these fried fava beans. Instead of potato chips, fava beans and mung beans. Really super tasty. Let me see. Twitchy says that's a very similar story between the traditional Thai dance and Morris dancing. Something similar happened in the UK with Morris dancing and the academics who recorded their traditions. Yeah, it is kind of the problem when these traditional forms get codified. Okay, so these are fava beans with their skin on, and these are actually onion flavored. They're super tasty. Here is what one of them looks like. Probably going to have one now. Look at that. Super yummy and buttery. Smells so good. The onion flavor really does smell good. And then these are mung beans, right? You want to show them?
Nope.
And again, they're buttery and light. They've got some carbohydrates. They've got protein. They've got fiber. Yeah, so when we're in Thailand, these are our snacks of choice. And these make great hiking snacks for refueling your energy on the way up. Let me at them. Yeah, we're definitely going to be buying a bunch of bags and bringing these back to Korea with us. And they're fried in palm oil here. Let me see. Yeah, they're fried in palm oil. So it's, in terms of health, okay, palm oil is controversial, obviously. Palm oil is good for you, though. It's got the right kind of fatty acid profile. Of course, there's major environmental concerns, but, there it is. I've never heard of that bean before. You may have mung beans. So Julian, mung beans are, they're yummy. They're an Asian thing for certain. And then broad beans, they're also called broad beans. Fava beans are also called broad beans, right? Fava is the medieval word for bean. That was the word of choice from the Latin for bean. And fava beans were the primary legume one of the primary legumes available in medieval Europe. Peas are another one. But for the most part, if you see a medieval dish that calls for beans, it's fava beans. It's broad beans. It's beans like this, right? Not pinto beans, not cannelloni beans, not kidney beans. Yeah, so super tasty. Highly recommend, and they do come in flavors. You can get them in wasabi flavor. You can get them. I actually saw mung beans that were honey roasted. There was actually honey in the ingredients, but it was there was also sugar, which was sad. Made me very sad. I was excited for honey roasted mung beans, not so excited for roasted mung beans with sugar in it. Yeah, super yummy. Let's see. So, yeah, Doi Sotep will be hiking up there. I'll let you know how that goes. We had to buy new shoes for it because I literally walked a hole into my favorite pair of Clark's slip-on shoes, Mary Jane's. We took them to a repair person. They'll be ready by tomorrow night, but that's not in time for our hike. That's why I had to go and buy shoes that would be suitable for hiking up a mountain. Takeda says, those beans look really tasty. I'd have to avoid them though because of the oil. Takeda, is it palm oil or is it a health issue, or is it you're rightly protesting palm plantations for being destructive as they are? I couldn't blame you for that, honestly. You're right too. These ones also, I think, are made with palm oil. Yeah, like almost all fried things here are fried in palm oil. Yeah, it's good for frying because it's high saturated fat, which means the fat is not turned rancid. The oil is not made rancid by the high temperature. That's the problem with frying things in polyunsaturated oil, by the way. Polyunsaturated oil goes instantly rancid the second you expose it to high heat, and then you're eating rancid oil, which is really inflammatory. Yeah, which is one of the reasons there's a lot like fried food I avoid here, because in the street markets they are not using palm oil for frying. In the street markets they are using corn oil and soybean oil and whatnot, sadly. Yeah. Oh, palm oil doesn't behave well with your gut. Yeah. Well, you gotta listen to your body. Congratulations for actually listening to your body. So many people don't. So many people ignore what their bodies tell them. Yeah. So do you all have any favorite Thai foods? One of the big, many of you who've traveled, you're probably familiar with the concept of foods being different in different places. So which I mean Chinese food in the UK is not Chinese food in China. Excuse me, I don't know why I turned away from the camera, the microphone goes with me. Is not like Chinese food in China. Chinese food here in Thailand is not much like Chinese food in China, right? So Thai food in the United States is not necessarily much like Thai food that you're going to get here in Thailand. And one of the things that's going to be really different about Thai food in Thailand is the spice level. But if you're in a tourist area, like yesterday was the first time this happened, they actually asked us what level of spice we wanted. No one's asked us that ever before at any restaurant or any eatery at which we've ever dined here in Thailand. But they actually asked us what our level of spice would be. So tourist places are increasingly doing that. But if you just go to a random street market, they're probably not going to ask you how spicy you want it. You're just going to get it Thai spicy. So bring a handkerchief and or cotton wool to stuff up your nostrils, maybe, just to stem the flow of the defensive reaction that your body will have to chili peppers. And that's a really funny thing about chili peppers. It's key to Asian cuisine, to all Asian cuisine, really, and especially South and East Asia, right? Chili peppers are key to those cuisines. You could hardly imagine them without it, but they didn't start using chili peppers in food in Asia until the 18th century. And even then it didn't get broad uptake because it hurt and no one enjoyed it at first. But it was the poor people who really, out of desperation, started consuming chili peppers as a supplement to their diet because chili peppers grow well here and they were cheap. And then it kind of worked its way to the upper echelons of society by the 20th century in most places. But before the 18th century, chili peppers just weren't part of cuisine. How crazy is that? Tanya, good morning. Thank you for that lovely gift. Welcome to Chiang Mai. Yeah. Let's see. Comment Takeda says, most oils I'm okay with, though sadly not coconut meat or milk. Oh, I love fresh coconut meat. Love it. Coconut meat carved straight out of the coconut. It is so amazing. It's like nothing else. Julian says, by the way, I did that cruise on the QM2. It was so-so, and I decided not to make a video of it. The transatlantic crossing was not fun, and I'm not sure if Cunard is right for me. Yeah, Julian, that's fair. It might not be. I will tell you though, try one of the other ladies. Maybe try Queen Victoria or Queen Elizabeth. Queen Mary is a very specific ship. She's got a specific layout, and she is very different, right? And so try one of the other ladies and try a cruise instead of a crossing, right? Actually try something with multiple ports where you're actually getting off and exploring things and then getting back on the ship. Give one of the other queens a try. Give an itinerary that actually has multiple port stops a try. Crossings are a very specific experience. And you're right, maybe it's not the experience for you, but maybe you'll enjoy it more in a different format, right? Absolutely. Gelbeline says, I've only had American Thai. It was a coconut curry with tofu and vegetables. It was delicious. Oh, vegetables. So that's another thing. The vegetables that are available here in Thailand are completely different from the vegetables that are generally available in places like the US. And so the curries here are going to have what for most people, most Westerners, are unrecognizable vegetables. So even the base ingredients are going to be different in many cases, not just not just the tastes and the flavors, but the actual textures will be completely different. I have had some much more authentic Thai in various places in the US, but I've also had Thai where it was carrots and mushrooms, which is not really done here. Yeah. Julian, so Fred Olson, as far as I understand, is Cunard Light. But I think it might not be the ship, it might be the crossing experience. Or yeah, it might not be the cruise line, it might be the crossing, right? So maybe try a cruise with an itinerary where you stop in different ports. And maybe you'll find it's a whole different thing. Also, again, Queen Mary is a very specific ship. And not everyone who likes Cunard actually enjoys cruising on Queen Mary. Our favorite is not Queen Mary at all. Our favorites are Victoria and Elizabeth. Yeah. Twitchy says the problem I have with cruises is the same I have with planes, just too many people in one space for my brain to cope with. Oh, Twitchy, that will not be a problem. For the most part, that will not be a problem with Cunard. Cunard, the way the ship's, because first off, it's only 2,000 passengers. And I know that sounds crazy, but hear me out. The ship is large enough that 2,000 passengers never feels crowded. The only time it might feel crowded is the dining room at dinner when every table is occupied. But if you have no problem eating at a restaurant where every table is occupied, or most tables are occupied, then you'll have no problem. Yeah, maybe give it, Twitchy, Cunard offers cruises out of Southampton that are just like 2 or 3 night tasters where you go to Amsterdam and back. Maybe give that a try and see what it's like, see if you like it. Yeah. Yeah, no, Twitchy, Cunard, Fred Olson, P&O have smaller ships, right? And it's a different experience. You don't want one of those mega ships, can't do the mega ships. Screw the mega ships, they're terrible. They're awful. I could never do the mega ships. No, and on Cunard, there are many times where we are in a space, in a lounge, where we're the only people, right? So there are plenty of spaces where you can go and get solitude and peace, and you'll hardly ever see a person throughout the day or the evening. Yep. Yeah. Try one of their tasters. Try one of their weekend tasters out of Southampton. Great way to get your toes wet. We were on one of those tasters as part of a larger voyage. That was one of the segments, and we met many Brits who were just getting their toes wet to see if they would like it. Yep. Julian's comment is, most people in QM said that Queen Victoria is better. Yeah, I mean, it's a matter of taste, Julian. There's people who are diehard Queen Mary fans, and then there are people who are not. We like Queen Mary. She's a nice ship, but the layout is real weird, and I hate the fact that the Queen's room, the ballroom, the main social space really is located strangely at the end of weird corridors, hidden basically at the back of the ship. Yeah. Herb Queen says, I love unrecognizable veggies. Oh, Herb Queen, 100% there with you. If it's unrecognizable, the more unrecognizable it is, the more likely I am to put it in my mouth. Hopefully that will be the way I die at the age of 110, by trying some exotic vegetable and it just kills me instantly, right? Let me see. Twitchy says, I think it's also the stories from my ship's master father, who was incredibly disparaging of people ships. He would always say the worst cargo is people. It's hilarious. I mean, Twitchy, I will say, on all of our cruises, we have met amazing people. We have friends from all of them that we're still in contact with. We got to meet really amazing people with really amazing stories. Cunard has, we've met World War II vets on Cunard, right? Women who were approaching 100 who served in World War II, right? So you can meet some really amazing people. There's the occasional dud, but honestly, for the most part, it's 90% not duds, I will say. Yep. Julian says that's why I love the cigar lounge for peace and quiet. Yep. Oh, and the cigar lounge, Churchill lounge. Yeah, there are lots of little spaces, not so little spaces even, that are just off the beaten path, and people don't find them on the cruise ships. Yeah. So Twitchy, again, reach out, man. I'm happy to go with you on one of these taster cruises if the price is right. Ryan and I, we can hook up. We can be your native guide on the voyage. Yep. Yeah, watching the ocean go by, it's one of my favorite things to do on a voyage, is to sit and look out the window. I get so mesmerized by the beauty of the ocean. Yeah. And one of the fun things we're going to be doing in Bangkok, for those who don't know, river transport is a thing here in Thailand. So public transit by boat. So we're staying in Bangkok at the Central Pier, and we're going to be actually using the ferries to get around. So on Saturday, we're teaching a medieval dance workshop in the afternoon. And so we're going to be hopping on the ferry and taking it to a pier about half an hour down the river, the Chao Phraya River, and then we'll take a taxi for the last couple of miles. So yeah, I love using ships as a method of actual transport. It's great. And you know, one of the great things about taking a ferry places, especially a river ferry, is that you get a tour. It's like the cheapest way to get a tour of a place. So you get to see all these amazing, beautiful buildings and villages on stilts here in Thailand, and you pay like 30 cents for the privilege, and you actually get to go where you're going, and you arrive much less queasy than you would if you had taken a taxi the whole way. Yeah, Twitchy, absolutely. Spain first, and then we'll do a taster cruise together. You're gonna love it. I think you're gonna love it. I think knowing you as I do at this point, I think you're gonna love it. And Julian, I really think definitely give Queen Victoria or Queen Elizabeth a try and see if that's not more your speed and more your taste. Yeah, Julian, was there anything specific you didn't enjoy? Like, you said it was so-so. Was there something for which you were hoping that didn't happen, or something that happened that you wish hadn't, I guess? Yeah, Jill, so that's the other thing about cruising. Having the right cruise companion can also make or break a cruise. So if your cruise companion isn't right for that voyage, or right for cruising, or even right for you necessarily, it can also impact the whole experience. Yeah. No, Julian, thank you, as always, thank you for letting me know. I'm sad it was only a so-so experience, though. I really am. I'm so sorry. Cruising is a great way to see Asia too. If you want to get a taster buffet of Asia, which we did back in 2016, we went from Hong Kong to Dubai. Thailand was on our stop, and it made us decide we absolutely needed to come back and spend more time here. And about once a year, we come and spend a week at least. And you know, always, every time we come back, we experience new things. There's new workshops, new classes, new beautiful historic sites that have been rebuilt, just like in Korea. So, you know, taking an Asian cruise is a good way to experience a lot of different places, get a taste, and then decide if you want to come back and see more of it. Yeah. Twitchy says, there is, however, a possibility they might be heading to Marrakesh for a folk event after Camino, which it's still no guarantee, but I hope. Ooh, a folk dance event? Is it, my ears are perked, Twitchy. Are we talking like going from the Camino right to Marrakesh? Because I could get in on that action too. Don't count me out, babe. Okay, everyone, are there any final questions? I need to actually eat my breakfast and get dressed and hit the trail, as it were. But we check out the things we posted over the last couple of days. I've posted a bunch of shorts, and I've got a whole bunch of items lined up for publication over the next several days. My members, channel members, and patrons will get early access to all that, of course, but they will be made public within the next week at least. Julian says, it's difficult to answer that as my mother died before the cruise, so my whole holiday was overshadowed by that. Oh, Julian, I am heartbroken for you. I don't even like wondering the mortality of my parents. Like, I'm starting to get choked up just thinking about it. So you have my deepest sympathies and condolences. Yeah, maybe try again in a happier time. God, I'm sorry. That's awful. Let's see. Twitchy says it's a week-long folk dance event that has hundreds of teams. Twitchy, I'm on board, babe. 100% on board. Send me the deets. Yeah, Julian, again, I'm so sorry. If you have any questions about traveling in and around Thailand, about Chiang Mai, about Thai food, about anything we've discussed, including cruising, and I didn't get to them in the live stream, please pop them in the comments and I will definitely answer them. If you've enjoyed this, please double tap that screen to like and consider subscribing. And guys, hit the notification bell. You have to hit the notification bell, because if you don't, and you have to choose all, because if you don't, then YouTube decides what you want to watch rather than letting you choose which of the things you actually want to watch after seeing the notification. That's why many of us aren't getting notifications, and YouTube resets those notifications randomly. So you have to double check frequently whether the bell is still on. Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, Julian, um, yeah, try again in a happier time. Okay, everyone, I do need to hit the trail. I thank all of my channel members and my patrons for supporting my work. I thank you for the gifts. I thank you for the super chats. Thank you all for supporting me and being part of my growing travel community. I really appreciate that, everyone. It's nice to meet like-minded individuals who, you know, are looking for a different and more informed way of experiencing the world. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're coming in late too, Tanya, but you can watch it from the beginning if you want to catch up on everything else. Okay, everyone, have a lovely morning, afternoon, evening, and we will be in contact again tomorrow. Until next time, everyone, may your travels be creative and unexpected. Bye, everyone.